New. Okay, we're live. Hi, we are live.
Oh my gosh!
We are about
ready to see the inlay.
We are here. Okay, we are ready to release the inlay. Okay.
Are we ready?
Yes, we are.
Okay, you guys, we are so excited that you guys are here. We also have a live audience. We've got Debi's channel, we've got our channel. We are going out to everybody, but our live audience here got to see the inlay very first at 9:30. So are you guys okay if we take a minute and reveal it to our audience? All right, so I'm going to let Debi, I'm going to let you get started like you did this morning and just tell a little bit about your inspiration behind this design.
Okay. So when the is this on?
It
Oh,
doesn't
you
sound
need
like it's
to
on.
put the.
Turn it on.
Yep.
The button. When Sally and Josie asked me to collaborate with them, I was so excited. If you're a creative person, you know when you have an idea, you really have to work hard to get that idea out of your brain and out into the world. And that's been my life for as long as I can remember. And then they said, would you like to collaborate? And this experience was so different. I just kind of said, I would like these colors. And then they would present them and be like, what about this? What about that? It was very easy, and it was like a dream come true experience. And working with you was so fun, and it was such an honor to work with friends. And I am passionate about IOD. I love it and use it all the time. So it was just a wonderful dream come true. And all I had to really do was come up with the design and the concept, and that's the fun part. I didn't have to do any of the heavy lifting. And so the design is inspired by my family. I have a whole side of my family that I never met until I was in my 40s. And so I grew up in a family that were not artists or merchants, and that's my passion, to have a retail store and design and art. And they all just kind of didn't get me. Wonderful family, but they just were like, Debi, what are you doing now? And then I meet a whole other side of my family from Mexico, and they're all artists and they're all merchants, and they owned a chain of stores in Revolution that were artisanal, that were like the local handicrafts. And my dad, my biological father, I have two wonderful dads, he explained to me that he would gather the local artists and design the embroidery on the clothing, and then these artists would go hand stitch these beautiful embroidered tops and dresses and purses and all kinds of handicrafts. And I've always been really drawn to that. And so this inlay is inspired by the handcrafted folk art from Mexico and my family heritage.
Rose.
And we'll just say a little bit about what a blessing it was to work with Debi. Debi was one of the first people we thought of when we thought, who would we want to collaborate with? And when she said yes, we were just so thrilled and excited. And it has been a dream. We've been good friends with Debi for many years, and she is just a kindred spirit. So we're just so thankful for this opportunity to do this collaborative design with her, this inlay. And the inlays are just perfect because Debi is so incredibly creative, and inlays are such a creative product. They're just artisanal and organic, and there's a lot of movement and opportunity to get creative with them. So it was the perfect product for her to collaborate with us on. I'm going to actually hand the mic over to Josie because she worked with Debi on this design, and I just kind of want to give you a little bit of backstory about what that was like, and it was really fun.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, you all know that Debi doesn't like bright colors. Debi loves bright colors, and we do too, but I will say that I tend towards the slightly more muted, less saturated colors. And so when we were collaborating on this and we had the back and forth, it was so fun. And Debi would send a palette And I would say, oh, you know, I love that because it was beautiful. But I'd say, what if we turn this neon orange into like a persimmon orange? And that'll kind of ground it a little bit. And
brown.
I would send it back, and Debbie would say,
It was brown.
it was brown. It wasn't brown, but okay. And we had that back and forth. And ultimately, Debbie, being the visionary behind this design, of course, got her way. And I'm so glad she did because it is beautiful. It's just perfect. And the fact that it is an expression of her heritage and her family just means so much more to us. And like Sally said, our relationship goes so much deeper than the business side of it. And it's such a special thing. And whenever there's retailers talking to us, oh, we were thinking of, you know, doing DIY paint or collaborating with Debbie, and all we can ever say is with Debbie, like the word integrity comes to mind because what she speaks is how she lives. And her heart for people and the fact that she doesn't compartmentalize her ethics for business and personal. We've all known people in business who say like, well, business is business, and kind of rationalize things that they wouldn't otherwise do. And Debbie's the opposite of that. She's transparent and we just cherish her. So it was a joy, like both of them say, to work with. And without further ado, there's something we say before we
Let's get ready to rumble.
no. I was just, who's seen Clash of the Titans, the old one?
Oh.
Okay. Release the Kraken. Release the Kraken. Without further ado,
Release
the Flora.
Isn't this gorgeous? All of the color and the beauty, and you can just see what Debbie was talking about and the Mexican heritage.
Where the brown would have
Folk
been.
art. All of these bright, beautiful colors. We love it. It's just, I don't know if you can get back there and see each individual page. We'll open it up.
Yes,
Yeah?
absolutely. Open up.
Okay.
One of the things that we love about folk art is all the different cultures have their version of primitive folk art. And each one has their own flavor. And we love that. But some of the things you'll see in common is, for example, symmetry. So many of the cultural folk art is very symmetrical. So we made sure that there was plenty of mirror facing so that you could create symmetrical layouts or use them individually in different ways. Very, very versatile. You can create borders, and you'll see that as we get into the pages.
Yeah.
We're so
And they're
in love
designed
with
to
it.
use small scale or for furniture, so like the beautiful pottery and the tin cups and the little tin canisters you can create. We've done some things like that.
Look at that bird.
Enormous bird.
Is that
Adorable.
And it
beautiful?
is gorgeous for large pieces like armoires, buffets, and we've seen it in already being used. A lot of our influencers and artists, design teams have used it, and it is. Oh, there you go.
Mara LaFay made this for me and brought it to me yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Off label, like do it at your own risk, but you
We made her say that.
Debbie has a hutch inside with the birds, the large ones on the doors, and they're scaled beautifully for that. So we are.
And there's two of each of these designs, so I'm just going to, so just keep that in mind as you're looking. There's two of each of these pages. So look at these beautiful butterflies. One thing I love about these is you can create a continuous border. There's two of these pages, so you can cover a lot of length with these butterflies, or you can create frames, vignettes.
And look at the flow and the curve of these. So like taking a portion and just slightly curving it for a little motif in the corner works. They're versatile because of that. If it was a straight, kind of more stagnant with less movement, but because there's lots of curve and flow in this, yes, the
I like
movement.
things going around corners of furniture, and you can mix it with other inlays as well.
Right.
Yes.
It gives you a lot of flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I love these little lovebirds.
I see those over a
Very-
door. Did you do them over a door? I thought so.
Okay.
make sure you show
Oh, yes, that's right. You guys haven't seen
Yeah, they haven't
the
seen.
individual pages yet. I'm so sorry. Okay.
And we have an edited video coming out. I have my inlay all throughout my store and different projects, so we will be showing those later. And lots of our designers have made beautiful projects with them. So
Oh
we will
yeah.
be sharing
I
that.
put QR codes on your guys' table if you want to check that out right now.
Oh,
If you
so
hover
lovely.
your stuff.
I think if you hover your phone over the QR
Well, they're
code,
on their phones watching this.
screenshot the QR code and then later hover your phone and you'll see all kinds of projects.
How did you get away with that, Ellie?
No, you can screenshot it and go back.
On your phone, and then how are you gonna?
I don't know. I'm sure somebody can do it.
Look at this.
They can, after the video, they can go
I
back
love
and
these birds. These are they're a little bit different, and this is symmetrical. So these would be beautiful on door panels.
Yeah, this
I
is
really see this.
Yes.
this bird.
Put the mic on.
We used it on a clock.
What's that? Oh, okay.
Oh, so they can hear.
Yeah.
I've seen people use this in the insets of a bookcase.
Oh, yeah.
Hey Rose, can I get your help?
Again, the flexibility of this design,
pull
you
it down
can
and
see
turn the volume
these
up a little
flowers could be
Just
create
pull it
a frame. You can create a continuous border. Really, this collection can go so far. Also, wanted to mention, because of the saturation and brightness of the colors, I don't know if you guys know this yet. If you're new to the inlays, it's important to note that you can actually get 2 to 3 uses out of each sheet. And with such saturated, intense color, it's going to be gorgeous on that second and third take. So just keeping that in mind. And then,
I use these a lot. I love these little flower sprays. I use them in so many different ways. They're probably the thing I went to in the beginning. And we use them on little tins and just little tiny home decor projects and Christmas ornaments. They're just wonderful.
I really love the fact that you can use this set so easily on furniture or small decor. It's extremely versatile. The scale and the variety of scale, it really does create just ease when you're going to your projects.
Well, when you're going into the holiday season, you want to create gifts. So you could buy one inlay set and create so many gifts for your friends. There's unlimited uses for this. And I plan to have a Vita Flora Christmas tree this year with, I just love the like merry and bright theme with all the fluorescent colors. So I think a black background really sets this off, and you could have a beautiful Christmas display with this.
I want to do some whitewashed terracotta pots with these on there for
Oh yeah.
container groupings. I
A
think
little
my
brown
patio-
glaze maybe.
Maybe. But the bright colors allow for that.
Yes, it's a balance.
Right.
Yes. No, these do look really good against the against the white and the bohemian blue and our blacks. And the mint chip is really lovely. It's very versatile, but the muted colors really make the inlay pop. Yeah.
Okay, I want to correct something that I said, because I said there was 2 sheets of each, and there's not 2 sheets of every design. So what I showed you is what there is.
There's 8 sheets.
There's 8 sheets
And
of different
on those
designs.
sheets, there's multiples of each design.
Correct. There's plenty.
Yes.
But I just want to make sure I didn't confuse people.
Out
So
of all the inlays, I think you can get the most out of this one. Like, there's multiple furniture projects that you
Multiple furniture projects you could do with just one inlay. Like this inlay especially is less is more. I have an entire Pinterest board that we can link of all the folk art furniture that I've been pinning for years, but a lot of the designs are just little embellishments at the top and a little bit on the drawers or the door panels, and you have more than enough to do 2 to 3 pieces of furniture plus a bunch of smalls. It really is a great value.
I don't know if I'm allowed to use the word restraint in this environment. But what you say is so true. And when you want to do a piece, sometimes just a touch. And with something like this, it's so good, true what she said. Just a little bit here or there, you can just get a lot out of this. I also wanted to say, when you use them and seal them, the color deepens. So you'll see that in a little bit. Because when the paint is on the sheet, it's not as deep as it is once you apply it and seal it. So
Debbie's grabbing a piece, but while she's doing that, we're going to show you something that we worked on yesterday as an example as well. And I'll just show you like this. Yeah, there we go. So you can see here, this we did, and we'll be showing you guys this demo live, but we wanted to show you, this was from yesterday with the retailers, and we did this on sealer, and this we did into paint. Okay, so if you're doing a finish that is a specialty finish, like a blended color or something, doing the inlay into a sealer is a really good alternative so that you can protect that specialty finish.
And we have a updated, very recent Inlay 101 video where we go deep, step by step, simplified into both methods and the challenges and upsides to each method, so you can discern like when you would want to use this method and when you would want to use this method.
That's right. Yes, and so another reason we like putting the inlay into a clear finish is because it can help you with the halo that sometimes happens. Debbie calls them panty lines. Are we allowed to say that online?
Yeah.
Panty lines. So that you see where the paper is. So when you're doing it into clear finish, it disguises that a little bit more, which is nice. And then you can also, though, put them into wet finish as well if you want to. I'm sorry. Yes, wet paint. Just straight into like a chalk or mineral based paint like Debbie's. So this is mint chip on the back of this color.
With some antiquing.
Yeah, with some brown wax.
Which wasn't even my idea.
Okay, so do we want to go ahead and get started on the demo? Oh, show them that.
So this is just an example of one little butterfly and how you can create something with one tiny little piece. And then we have a few more examples coming out. Let's see, we have like a little tin bucket.
Here.
Lovely.
A chalkboard, this little chair, and you can see it will go a very long way. Good job. Here comes more.
Oh gosh.
How much do you love it on this broken paint finish? I love that. I feel like it kind of counterbalances the solid bright.
A little suitcase.
So beautiful.
There's and then ornaments. I think that they would be great on just your plastic thrift store ornaments. You could paint them and put the butterflies on them. And out of one inlay, you could make
a lot of
ornaments.
And the jumbo ornaments are so fun and in style. When you go to stores that really go all out for Christmas, you'll see the big ornaments. These would be fabulous on that.
Yes.
Totally statement. Oh, I love it. All right.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start. I'll raise my voice because I what?
Are we still going live for this or just?
The demo?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So we are going to go ahead and we're going to do a couple of different, or do we want to, what are we doing? I'm going to let you decide what you do. What we do.
We have a board chart.
Okay.
Does everybody, you guys want to get seats and stuff? I just want to make sure we're warm it up and come here.
Yeah.
patina.
Is it out? Where is it out?
It's gone now. The liquid patina, the mint chip, the brushes.
I already got the brushes because I washed them yesterday.
Okay.
Big top or?
No.
What do we use?
Oh, liquid patina. And what else?
And a heat gun.
And a heat gun. Okay.
The heat gun's down here.
I'll grab that.
And there's the extension cord already plugged in.
I am going to pre-mix. Is that camera facing the right direction?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They're both good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If any, can everybody see good? If anybody wants to come closer, we have more chairs and stuff like that.
Yeah, if you guys can't see in the back and you want to see, I know some of you saw this yesterday, but anybody that wants to come closer, you guys can come in closer. But if you're good, that's okay.
And the speaker's
Okay.
good.
So first off, you can use different types of top coats. We've recently been using and experimenting with flat top coats
Debbie.
to lay your inlay into. You always want to make sure that it's base coated, not freshly, so that you are not reactivating the bottom and pulling up paint off of your surface. Always prep properly and always make sure that this base coat is nice and dry. Preferably you've done it the day before or longer. And then we're going to go in, this time we're using Debi's liquid patina. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to coat that. Before I start coating that, I'm going to pre-mist the inlay sheet. I've got it paint side down, grid side up. And the reason we do this is to pre-expand the fibers. After you spritz it, you're going to see it wrinkle up. That's those fibers in our proprietary carrier sheet expanding. And what this means is when you go to lay it in your wet mediums, it's not going to expand. So you're going to have less wrinkles in your finish. Now, sometimes you want those wrinkles. Maybe you're going for that kind of leathery texture look or a specialty finish. But by and large, you're going to minimize those wrinkles. So we're just going to give it, you're not soaking it wet, you're just giving it enough drink to soak up and kind of expand.
Do you wait a certain amount of time after you spray it?
I just do it before I get my section ready. So that's the first thing I do, and then we get our section ready.
Yes, the grid side.
So not the paint side, the grid side.
I will say there are some people who do the paint side, so if that happens by accident, you're okay.
Yeah, I've seen people do both,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but Josie's doing the back side, not the paint side.
That's just the method that we use and recommend.
And you're working generally. And like I said, check out our new 101 video because we can go into more depth there. But generally, you're working in sections that are 12 by 16 or whatever amount of your pieces you're putting on at the time. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to lay this bad boy into it.
When you're laying it down, sometimes it can feel tricky because you know the wet paper it wants to take, and sometimes that can be intimidating. But stay calm, stay calm, and carry on. And you can move it.
The
You
brayers.
have a little bit of margin to kind of fuss with it a little bit.
Now, we go from the middle outwards with the brayer, and what this does is it obviously makes sure you've got good contact, that you're pressing that design and the pigment into the wet medium, but it also presses out and removes and minimizes bubbles. Bubbles and wrinkles, but especially bubbles that can result in little craters. Now I'm not going all the way to the edge because if you stop shy of the edge, just get your design, you minimize your panty lines.
So when you see little bubbles or wrinkles, would you want to like pick it up and pull it taut?
There is a little bit of open time for that, just a little. So let's see, we're going, yeah, see that's already taking. So you don't, then it'll, but if it's right when you're laying it down, you can like right then.
Bubble.
Yeah.
These little tiny bubbles don't work out though.
Yeah. And we're just gonna, so I don't think that you need to use a
And I
heat
notice
gun.
you're rolling in one direction. You're not going back and forth. Is there a
Correct.
reason?
Middle out. Because if you're going back and forth, if your purpose is to move those air bubbles and air pockets out, you don't want to be moving them back and forth. It's like whose mom taught them how to do a pie crust. From the middle out. You're not rolling back and forth. That just overworks it. So now we've got that in good. Let's hit it with a heat gun to kind of speed up the drying a little bit.
Okay.
And reveal it. Oh, is Ellie looking for the heat gun?
No, it's over here.
Oh, here.
Just so here you can see what we're looking at.
So the edges are nice and loose. They're not pressed down.
Yeah.
Did you spray it with water then after the sprayer? Before the sprayer?
No, don't.
Yes.
Not
She gave it
on
a
the surface.
no.
Before we.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, right. You only did it
Yeah.
then. Okay.
And all of these things, like what? If you haven't caught the new video, catch it. But all of these things are guidelines. We always encourage you, especially we encourage people who've never used the inlays to get some, talk to your stockist, even ask for a free sample, and we support that. So we work with our stockists to get pieces in your hand and do demos right in their store, and play with little pieces and go try it first the way we say, and then play with it different ways. And you know, whether you're using different products you want to try it out and test with, or you want to try a technique, you know, play.
That's one of the beauties of this product is that it is organic. It's actual proprietary paint, similar to a gouache. And so there are so many things and opportunities for just having fun. But you're not going to know what those limits are and what this product can do until you get in and play. And the fun part about coming out and innovating new products is that we get to see what you guys do with it, and you guys blow our minds. Like when we see some things we thought we would think we never would have thought to do that, and so that's just one of the beauties of this. So, and it is paint, so you can move that paint around and stuff. We're not going to get into like any of that. We want to keep it nice and basic so that you guys feel comfortable going home and trying this right away. But the idea is that this is a journey and you can go even further with it.
So true. And as Sally mentioned, it's our paint formula that we use on this is water reactive until it's sealed, and that means you can play and do those techniques. And it is very similar to gouache, but a traditional, true gouache. If you go to most art stores, most of the gouaches you're going to see are acrylic. They're not actually a true gouache.
Like margarine.
Exactly. Because true gouaches are water reactivatable. The binding that is used is not one that is permanently binding it, so you can water reactivate it, and that's what artists love about that, and what you can grow to love about the inlays because of the techniques that it makes possible. Gouache, so it's spelled funny. It's Gouache, and it's a paint that is, I'm trying to think, it's a very organic, very earthy, basic, traditional paint that's hundreds of years they've been using it. It has an opacity to it. as opposed to watercolors. Like watercolors are very translucent, gouache is very opaque. If you go online and Google gouache paintings, you'll see the difference. There's a certain beauty to them that is just lovely, and just a subtle, nuanced difference because of that opacity. And then, of course, the reworkability of them until they're sealed. Does that answer your question? Okay, very good. This is
Our
probably
new
good.
painterly paint has a lot of gouache characteristics to it. It's very close to a gouache. We tweaked it a little bit so that it's, when you buy a true gouache, a little tiny 1 ounce tube is going to cost you like $15 sometimes for a really good gouache. So we wanted to have like a 4 ounce tube that would be good for furniture. So it's our new painterly paint is a version of a gouache with the ability to put it in a 4 ounce tube. There's no acrylic in it, but it's pretty close to
The true.
Oh, wow.
gouache. That's so cool. Don't you love kind of referencing and getting back to some of the old formulas? And when you look at some of the ways they used to, and you can find their actual recipes for making your own paint with raw pigments, grinding your pigments, and the different formulas that they used to use before they started adding the synthetic stuff. It's just special.
You'll find all of the details of using the paint inlays in the Paint Inlay 101 on the Iron Orchid Designs YouTube channel. But I did want to mention, when you're using the inlay in a top coat, you'll actually want to be mindful that you don't want to let it sit for too long. Whereas if you're using it in a mineral base or chalk type paint, you can let it sit for a long time because it doesn't have those binders in it. So we're going to actually pull this now. And when you're doing it in a sealer, you want to let it sit for how long, Jose? Like 5-10 minutes?
You want to check it at 5 minutes because sealers are binder rich. They'll have the urethanes in them, and the job of those is to grab. So it's trying to grab the moment it goes in there. It's trying to grab. So you want to catch it in that window between the time it's gone down, but before it's grabbed it so strong that it's difficult to remove. And that's about 5 to 10 minutes on the sealers that we've used. That's going to vary by sealer and ingredient, so you always want to test it.
liquid patina. I think takes a little bit longer to dry sometimes, depending on the temperature too.
And it's thicker than a standard top coat.
But
So-
it is essential that you, like I put down liquid patina, pressed my inlay into it, and I wanted to make sure that it was good and dry, so I let it
dry overnight, and then I came back and I lost big chunks of the inlay. So I learned that I needed to let it dry and then pull it up. But I was able, because we have this awesome new painterly paint, I just hand painted in and saved that inlay.
And surprise, surprise, her painterly paints are very bright.
It was not intentional. I just naturally gravitate toward those colors. Ooh, here it is, you guys. Can you see?
Oh, wow.
Look at that.
And this is paint, so just let that sink in a little bit. When you look at a vintage antique piece of furniture that is hand painted, this is that. This is a hand painted piece with real paint.
Yes, as opposed to a film.
yes.
Right.
So that's what we love about, we'll never not love the transfers.
I mean,
But
They're easy to use, they're beautiful.
Coming to you
Yes,
live.
and you can see while it's still wet how deep the colors are, and so when you seal it you get that depth back, because when it dries it's going to lighten up a little bit, very much like true mineral paints are. They lighten up a little until you get a good sealer worked into that. So
And there's something about the yellow that just like when you put it with all the cool toned colors and you have that warm, beautiful, sunshiny yellow, it's just so magical.
it is. It's beautiful.
And again, this, because it is an actual paint, all of the techniques that you can do. I know your guys' minds are racing with all of the things that you can do with it.
Let us know what you want to, how you want to use it in the comments.
Yes.
Oh yeah, tell us in the comments any ideas that you have or questions that you have about the inlay and what can be done with it. But yesterday Josie was having some fun, and one of the techniques that we like is after where you lay the inlay in. So once this is dry, you come back in with a soft, damp cloth, very, very barely damp. And you just model, and it'll pull some of the colors into the surrounding area. And depending on the color of the inlay, you can get some really neat effects with that.
Yes. In fact, we have a reel up where we pull on one of our blue inlays. We pull the color. We show you how to do it, how to pull a little bit of water by it and pull the pigment out in a way that looks kind of like a flow blue that you see on vintage pottery. So all kinds of fun techniques.
Yeah.
And the distressing and the chippiness just gives it the look that you found some old primitive piece of folk art furniture, and it's been around forever. And like, I just love the chippy elements to it because it just lends to what we already do anyway, the distressing. It's just so exactly what I wanted.
Sure. Yeah. So earlier Jackie said because Day of the Dead is coming up, so she's excited. So Jackie Byrne said she was excited for Day of the Dead to use it for that, and Lorna said the kind of bright and merry we all need, and Danielle's going to use it on a chair. So lots of people are excited. Everybody on the interweb is so excited.
So you know the Day of the Dead, like Sugar Skull. Oh,
The little, what do you call it? The rushed seats, the little rocking chairs that they make for children with the wooden
That always has a little bit of folk art on it.
Give her a few more minutes and she'll bring it all.
Yeah,
up.
I know. That's true. With the, what do they call the seats? They were woven into. You can see them. They're rush. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, the rushed seats, and I feel like we've all seen those. When we were little, we I think had some.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the slat back.
Over the top of it. Yep.
Did you find it? It's coming.
So, no, the other one. So Ellie is telling me that I should let you know where to purchase this. A lot of the DIY retailers are carrying it, so you can find your local DIY retailer or your local IOD retailer or your favorite. So many of them will ship to you and sell online. Of course, we have it here at DIYagogo.com, but they all have the inlays ready to ship.
And
We
it is
have
a limited edition.
It is a limited edition, so we have sworn them to secrecy, but they are all waiting for us to give them the green light so you can go get from them. Unfortunately, they made it a limited release. I think it should be
You're really doing this
a classic IOD thing. But because of that, I'm just saying, I'm predicting that this might be the fastest selling inlay ever. So you might want to go get it before it's gone. I'm already hoarding a couple dozen for myself. So if they do sell out, I will sell them to you, but at a higher price. Just saying.
This girl's a hustler, so she does not lie. She will make a little more markup. So get them now while you can get them at a reasonable price. They're looking for a chair.
A dark blue chair, I think, a little child's chair.
How many chairs do you have?
Let me see that little chair though. That's cute too. I love it on black. So I love it on black partly because it is such a traditional folk color theme. Is the black pieces with the brighter folk motifs on them.
Take this away from you.
like this. Isn't that a beautiful color combination?
Yeah,
It's
right.
like the mama chair.
There. Oh yes, that is so
See,
darling.
that's one tiny little element from your massive inlay.
I love
This
this.
will get you through the entire holiday season. You can make so many gifts with it and decorate your house.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
What a cute
decorate your
bunting.
house.
Although a bunting, you're gonna want to put it on stuff that you can keep out all the time. So, but oh, that is lovely. Is that adorable?
So
Oh, that would be. And it does look really darling on a true warm red too. We just saw a project with that.
Yes, who did that project? That was so beautiful.
I don't know yet,
It's
but
very
it was.
versatile. Yes.
It is so versatile. And again, like the restraint used here, it's perfect. Just this little bit of it is lovely.
You could do a little corner element maybe.
You could.
But
You
it doesn't
could.
take a lot. And if you're a reseller, you paint a chair and you add this, and it like ups the value.
Now it's
of
a
your
boutique
project. Yeah.
Piece.
Right, that they
Exactly.
can't get anywhere else
Right,
and unique. Okay, so we are going to wrap up this portion. I'm going to pass the mic back to Debbie so that she can tell you guys what comes next and what's the rest of the schedule. Thank you guys so much for being with us, for joining us online. Look, everyone here is excited you're here too. Thank you guys so much, and we will have the information in the comments about where you can go to see more videos on using this product. IOD YouTube is a great place. We'll have a playlist of all the different projects and lots of that. So,
And please go support our wonderful retailers, the IOD retailers and the DIY paint retailers. Many of them have this and they are ready to just put the tape on the envelope and get it right to you.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.